All right, as promised, here are my top 3 neighborhoods in the city of Surrey, BC, that I personally would not invest. I don't want to tick anybody off. I'm just saying, if I had to put money in a place, and I did, I would not be doing it in these 3 places. Now, I do think, as a full disclaimer here, this is only my opinion as a result of living within the city for my entire life. However, these are the 3 spots that I think show the least amount of upside. I do think if you can invest, or if you want to invest, investing is better than not investing. So don't let these, if you have picked or if you have a rental in these 3 spots, don't let that deter you. I don't think it's a bad thing. I personally have even invested in one of these spots, but I just think that these are the 3 with the least amount of upside at the moment. If you like real estate content across Surrey, BC, and Canada, please subscribe. If you don't want to miss an update, please hit that notification bell. And hey, give this video a like if you wouldn't mind. It'll help push us up in YouTube and get this message out to other investors as well. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to go back through that disclaimer. My opinion only. I have invested in at least one of these neighborhoods in the past, and I made a lot of money. I just wouldn't pick them today. All right. So no offense to anybody. It's not meant. I love the city. It's just go back and watch the places I would invest first in this video. And then if they don't work for you, or for whatever reason you don't like them, hey, maybe you can come back to these 3. But I personally wouldn't pick these 3. So let's kick it off with number 3. The number 3 spot I personally would not invest in Surrey is City Center, otherwise previously known as Whalley. Now, this is where all the investors coming not from Surrey think Surrey is. All right. So it is going to be the new downtown, and the city is sinking tons of money into it. Here's the reasons that I personally would not invest there. Number 1, it is not the nicest end of town. It might actually be currently one of the worst ends of town. It would be like SkyTrain comes there, so that's the only place that people from out of Surrey know. But it would be like if the SkyTrain only went down Hastings Street. Not a super nice spot to be. Now, there are some nice buildings. However, what I do find, in my number 2 reason why I wouldn't necessarily be there, I don't like micro units. The city is allowing these 300 and 400 square foot tiny little units, and I don't think they're very good for investors. What they do attract is people that want that low sticker price, and then they want to try and flip it when the market goes. For me, I think that's a silly way to invest. Much like the stock market, real estate should be a long-term hold. If I'm going to hold a property long-term, I want to try and get into a 2-bedroom if I can, or I want a really nice spot where people want to stay for a long time. And I do find that, unfortunately, there's a little bit more of a transient nature within Whalley, so higher turnover time and time again. I mean, the good side is it will be the future downtown. I think the city has missed the mark, unfortunately, with allowing such small units. Number 2 on my list is actually, this kind of burns me to say it, but it's downtown Cloverdale, the historic portion of Cloverdale. And I don't live too far from there, but I was not looking to invest in there personally when I just bought a recent property for myself. And I think it comes back to the city just missing the mark. Historic Cloverdale should be much like Fort Langley or that kind of Yale town. There should be restaurants and patios flowing out onto 176 or 176A, the historic area. And we should be enjoying and loving that lifestyle down there. But we're just not. Unfortunately, there's been a high amount of low-income, long-term rentals in the area. The bars and, well, except for COVID, I mean, a couple of small patios have opened, but it doesn't really give you the lifestyle that you should have in a downtown kind of historic area. I mean, there should be, right? There should be drinks. There should be fun. There should be parties going on down there. And there's just not, and I don't see any sign of it. The other thing that deters me, where a couple of good condo buildings could have gone in, unfortunately, the city picked to put in townhouses. And on top of that, those townhouses are right next to Highway 17, a very, very busy road. So I don't, unfortunately, it doesn't meet my criteria for a good spot to invest currently. And the number 1 spot I would personally not invest within the city of Surrey, don't hate me for saying it, Newton. Newton is King George, 72, and the surrounding areas, 72nd Avenue, and the surrounding areas. I just don't see the city putting a lot of their resources into those spots. And the cynic in me kind of views them as by trying to clean up the Wally City Center area, they're pushing a lot of those resources that those people need in that area out to Newton. And therefore, Newton has become a little rougher spot over the last little while. For instance, the food bank, which obviously we support, it's our charity of choice, has been moved down to Newton. There's no SkyTrain coming in there. The old government at the municipal level was trying to put in better transit down King George Highway, but that has since stalled. And here's where I'm an absolute hypocrite, because my very first ever investment condo was in Newton and I made a killing off of it. So again, I don't want to discourage you from investing in any particular spot that catches your eye, because it worked very well for me in the past. I just personally wouldn't put my money there right now. So let's recap really, really quickly. The number 3 spot I would personally not invest, that everyone is investing, is the downtown city center, Wally, used to be known as Wally area. Number 2, right near my home, historic Cloverdale. I think the city could do so much with it, but they just unfortunately are not. And the number 1 spot, rootin' tootin' Newton, as they call it. I just don't see the city committing to very good future growth. There's no SkyTrain coming that way. I mean, there's a bus depot that is great, but I just don't see the city putting resources into that area moving forward. I hope this has not offended any of my fellow Surrey. Are we Surreyites? What are we? I don't know. I hope this hasn't offended anybody. I do think that if you're investing and these are your options, they're still great options. But go back again and watch where I do think your better options are. If you found any value in this video, please hit that like button, get us up there in the YouTube, and we will see you next time.